Alright, also look. Ooh, welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, I'm gonna be talking about this weekend's UFC Fight Night main event, featuring the one and only, the last stylebender, Israel Adesanya, taking on the 5th ranked middleweight of the world, Nasruddin Imavov. And it's all going down live this Saturday night at the A&B Arena in Saudi Arabia. And in this video, I'm going to be going over my main card breakdown, analysis, as well as predictions on UFC Saudi Arabia's main card, as well as also speed running through my early prelim as well as regular prelim predictions as well. So, with that being said, without further ado, let's get right in to the video. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share so you can help me reach 2,000 subscribers by May. I'll deeply appreciate you. And make sure you join the official UFC Discord, link in the description. Alright, so look, for this video, I'm going to be speed running through my early prelims as well as regular prelim predictions, and then later getting into more detailed breakdowns once we've reached the main card. Now that that's out of the way, let's begin with the curtain jerker. The first fight of the night, where we've got a bout between Hamdi Abdelwahab versus Jamal Pogue, where I've got Jamal Pogue by unanimous decision. Next up on the card, we've got a bout between Bogdan Gran versus Lucas Alexander, and I'm going to be going with Bogdan Gran by unanimous decision. Next up on the card, we've surprisingly got a women's bout on a Saudi Arabia event. Interesting. And the two girls involved are Jasmine Jasudavicius taking on Maya Bueno Silva. And I'm going to be going with Jasmine Jasudavicius by unanimous decision over Maya Bueno Silva. Next up on the card, we've got my boy, Terrence McKinney taking on Damir Hadzovic. And I'm going to be going with Terrence McKinney by second round TKO. Don't let us down, my guy. Moving up on the card, we've got a bout between Shamil Gaziev versus Thomas Peterson, where I'm going to be going with Shamil Gaziev by either second round TKO or unanimous decision. Next up on the card, we've got a bout between Mohamed Naimov versus Khan Ofi, and I'm going to be going with Mohamed Naimov by second to third round KO over Khan Ofi. And now, last but certainly not least, for the prelim fights, we've got a bout between Faris Ziam versus Mike Davis, where I'm going to be going with Mike Davis to get the job done by either third round TKO or unanimous decision over Faris Ziam. And now, for the main card, we've got a bantamweight curtain jerker bout between Said Nurmagomedov versus Vinicius Oliveira. And looking at the odds right now, it kind of seems like it's low-key a pick'em fight. Well, not really, but it kind of is, with Nurmagomedov at a plus 162 and Oliveira at a minus 136 odds. So I don't know if this is a sleeper pick, but I'm going to be going with Vinicius Oliveira to get the job done. And you see, looking at this matchup from a stylistic standpoint, though he is a Dagestani hailing from the land of Dagestan, Said is kind of like Magomed Ankalaev in a way, stemming from how they flipped the script, and instead of being your stereotypical full-blown wet blanket wrestler, he's actually quite an elite striker with a very sneaky but also filthy submission game. But you see, the thing about Said is that while he is a very skilled striker, he sort of needs space to breathe in order for him to succeed in the stand-up. And I just don't think Vinicius Oliveira will give Said that space he needs in order to come out on top in this fight. Oliveira is a super pressure-heavy striker who almost never takes his foot off the gas. And I think that's gonna really mess with Saeed's game plan and will likely make him struggle when it comes to the distance control, honestly. And I just think that this fight has the potential to be razor close. But if Oliveira can be on his P's and Q's when it comes to the ground game and Saeed's submission offense, then his work on the feet should be enough in order to get the job done. That is why I've got Vinicius Oliveira by either third round TKO or unanimous decision against Saeed Nurmagomedov. Moving up on the card, we've got a heavyweight bout between two ranked heavyweights. Those being the number 4th ranked Sergey Pavlovich taking on the number 9th ranked Biggie Boy Jairzinho Rozenstruik. And look, I'm rolling with Sergey Pavlovich on this one. And you see, I truly believe that Pavlovich isn't on the decline whatsoever, and we're actually about to witness the best version of Sergey Pavlovich that we've seen yet. And yeah, I know, I get it. When he ran into Tom Aspinall, he got starched, clipped, and flatline KO'd. And after that loss, he kind of switched things up against Alexander Volkov and took a more calculated and technical approach. And, was still unsuccessful. But did you guys forget who this man was? He was a dominant first-round knockout machine who put together a streak of 6 straight first-round finishes and, was in the running for the title and was even the backup fighter for the initial Johns v. Miocic fight. And so now, I think with that experience behind him, Pavlovich will find the correct ingredients he needs in this fight against Jairzinho Rozenstruik, and I see him being patient and technical when he needs to be, but when that moment he spots that opening, he's going to explode for that knockout. And I just think that once Pavlovich sets his eyes on the prize and goes for that finish, it's GG's. And, on top of that, his speed is absolutely insane for the heavyweight division. Not to mention that 84-inch wingspan is a nasty weapon. And though Jairzinho Rozenstruik has some really strong and speedy counter-striking ability, I just don't see him having the physical tools in order to beat Sergey Pavlovich to the punch. That is why I've got Sergey Pavlovich by either first to second round KO against Jairzinho Rozenstruik. And now for the co-main event of the evening. And we've got a bout between two of some of the best strikers in the UFC currently. And I'm talking about the undefeated, one-eyed Cyclops freak himself, the pirate, Sharabullet Magomedov, going up against the former 170-pound Bellator title challenger, MVP Michael Venom Page. And look, y'all, this is a very, very, very tricky fight to predict, honestly, because these two are absolute striking virtuosos. Highly dynamic, but at the same time, super unorthodox. But you see, when it comes down to it, I think that Shara kind of tends to leave himself open quite often, and, his takedown defense is pretty buns, but that really won't be too much of a factor in this fight. I don't think. I don't hope. And look, I get it. Everyone and their mother stays talking about his double spinning back fist finish against Arman Petrosyan, but at the same time, forget how many times he was rocked by Arman Petrosyan, who also just so happens to be an elite striker. And guess what MVP is? An elite striker who is better than Arman Petrosyan in every way. And so I believe that MVP will make the correct as well as appropriate reads against Sharabullet and capitalize on one of Shara's explosive blitzes when he leaves himself exposed. And I just think that MVP is just super sharp at recognizing those type of moments, and I just see him catching Sharabullet clean and off guard not once but multiple times. That is why I've got Michael Venom Page taking the O from Sharabullet Magomedov by unanimous decision. And now, last but certainly not least, for the main event of the evening, where we've got the 5th ranked middleweight of the world, Nasruddin Imavov, taking on the former 2-time middleweight champion of the world, as well as one of the greatest 185-pounders of all time. And I'm talking about the last style bender, Israel Adesanya. And look, y'all, this is a real life layup for my boy Izzy, man. And I know it's hard to believe, taking into account that the boy is riding on a 2-fight losing streak. But for the second time from this video, let us not forget who this man is. And you see, I really don't see this fight being that competitive, honestly. And in my opinion, I think Israel Adesanya is on a completely different level when compared to Nasruddin Imavov. And look, when we're talking about the stand-up, it's really a no-brainer when I've got Israel Adesanya all the way, and it isn't even that close. Now, when it comes to the ground game, yeah, a lot of you might mention Imavov's wrestling, but let's not forget that a lot of the instances where we see Imavov successful when it comes down to the wrestling is when we see that he's able to set it up thanks to the threat of his work in the stand-up. Imavov's wrestling heavily relies on him setting things up through his stand-up exchanges, and that strategy just won't work against Israel Adesanya. Thus, no striking threat, which means no successful takedowns, which in turn means a bona fide Israel Adesanya striking masterclass. That is why I've got Israel Adesanya by 3rd to 4th round TKO or unanimous decision over Nasruddin Imavov this Saturday night in Saudi Arabia. I'm rooting for you, Izzy. Please don't be washed. But that's all I've got to say for this video. Let me know in the comment section below what are your guys' thoughts or predictions on UFC Saudi Arabia, Israel Adesanya versus Nasruddin Imavov. Let me know in the comment section below. But that about wraps up the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.